Hey Wanderers! Welcome back to another Foolish Wanderers podcast, the podcast about anything and everything. So today we're going to be talking about Japanese yokai, which are kind of like supernatural, cryptid, kind of weird, superstitious things. It's a whole conglomeration of things, and we'll get into a few of them.
So yokai just kind of means ghosts or supernatural things?
Yeah,
so it could be ghosts and monsters and cryptids or whatever.
Yeah, it's like everything. It's just kind of like anything that's weird or like unexplained, pretty much, or just like superstitious, all kind of in that realm. We'll get into it. We'll get into some of the history and stuff too.
Okay.
So Kendra has a love for Japanese art and stuff, and you took Japanese art classes or like history of Japanese art, didn't you, in college?
Yep, I took history of Japanese art, and then it was Japanese art and design.
Okay.
Then that was it.
Okay.
It was like a year of Japanese just art and design and culture and everything like that. But that was, a few moons ago.
just
and, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I probably have lost a lot of it.
Yeah. Have you heard of yokai, though?
Yes, because we had to do, block prints and whatnot, like a section on block printing and wood block printing specifically, and they did a lot of like weird spirits and not suitable for work type you know what I mean, type. Yeah
There's a lot of
hanky panky, horizontal whatever hula, whatever you want to call it. So we had to do a section on that stuff, but also like ghosts and the yokai and stuff like that. So
okay,
I am familiar with it, but I haven't researched it for a while.
You haven't been brushed up on it for a little bit.
Yep. So this is gonna be fun. I'm excited for this episode.
I'm glad. But just a quick heads up for any listeners that want to look up yokai. There's a lot of really interesting ones. There's a lot of scary ones. There's a lot of funny ones. But there is also the side that Kendra kind of just mentioned where it's like not safe for work stuff. So just be aware.
Do not be Googling. Do not be searching this on your lunch break for fear that Susan from HR will peer over your shoulder and scold you.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And there is, so I chose, I think, like 12 to talk about today, but there's literally thousands. So there's a whole world of yokai to explore. And there is even a, I think it was on Cartoon Network, there's a show called Yokai Watch, which is kind of where I first heard of these. Some of these stem from that show that I've seen like an episode or two of. But yeah, we'll get into it. Alright, so every culture has its own monsters. In Japan, the creatures and strange phenomena of folklore have been known historically by a variety of terms, but today they're mostly commonly called yokai, a word that has become a catch-all for everything spooky, from a creepy monster to a ghostly spirit to unexplained phenomenons. Historically, yokai are associated with folk narratives, such as myths, folktales, and legends, and are also a part of local belief systems in villages and cities throughout Japan. So the concept of yokai and the word itself is a broader than English language monster or spirit. In theory, it can indicate any unexplainable phenomenon, such as eerie sounds in the night or fireballs dancing around a graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
any weird, unexplainable thing.
Yeah, basically, it's like, oh, that's a yokai. It's a
yokai. Okay, it's just the catch-all for weird things that happen that you can't really explain. Okay.
Yes. Yep. So in practice, though, especially in recent years, the word tends to refer to something more of the physical world. In addition to supernatural beings, yokai can also refer to real animals, such as katsune, or foxes, tanuki, or raccoon dogs, and even cats. Many of these animals were said to have the ability to shift their shape, taking the form of a person or another animal or object in order to cause trouble in the human world. Some yokai assume human-like appearances, and others look like sprites or other strange beings, akin to trolls, elves, and fairies found in European lore. And with regard to behavior too, yokai behaviors vary from mischievous and murderous to benign and protective, and everything in between.
Okay, have you seen those raccoon dogs before?
I'm gonna Google them. I
It
think
looks
so.
exactly like my dog Inca. So we will call Inca like a little raccoon dog. We'll find gifs, like Mr. Kendra and I will find gifs of raccoon dogs, and we'll send them to each other to explain kind of like what Inca's doing or whatnot.
Oh, it's cute. Okay, yeah, I don't think I've seen these before, but yeah, it does look like Inca. Like Inca, she's like an all-black version of a raccoon dog.
Yep.
Or pretty much all black.
Yep.
Oh.
But it still has like that little like brown face, right? Those little raccoon dogs have a little brown face like Inca. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
Why would anyone think that somebody's like a human has turned into a raccoon dog to cause mischief? They're cute.
They're cute, but they're mischievous.
They've got those little creepy, like, opposable thumbs. If you've seen the video of the raccoon, it wants, I think maybe like a strawberry or something. Like it wants a piece of food.
Okay.
And it's like
little fingers.
It's like moving its fingers like all like evil.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. I saw it too the other day on TikTok. It was like someone trained a bunch of raccoons how to finger paint, and they're so excited. They have these little portraits, like they have not portraits, but they have like their paw prints like all over this canvas.
Can you purchase this? Like, can you purchase their artwork online?
I can Google it. But I think you can buy it. Hold on.
Because there was, don't remember the names. Maybe it was Coco the gorilla. Don't really remember. But there was a gorilla that painted and would sign, and then there was an elephant that would paint, and you could purchase both of their artwork.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
but I wasn't tempted because I don't really like elephants, and I don't like gorillas.
Okay,
so if it was a raccoon dog, I might buy its artwork.
Okay, yes. So I did find an article on Bored Panda, and I think. So the 3 raccoons artists are called Piper, Cheeto, and Tito.
I'd buy it from Cheeto all day long.
Cheeto. So apparently they cost between $75 and $150.
I'd do it. I might do it. I might do it for the house. I might buy like a nice little finger painting from a raccoon dog. Put it in the hallway.
But like, look how excited.
I love it. They look jazzed. They look like they're on cloud 9 showing off their artwork. Look! He's pointing to his art.
He's so cute. I'll try to leave a link, Wanderers, if you want to check this out. But they're so cute.
Go support their passion, everybody. Go support these passionate raccoons.
Oh, they're so happy. I love it. Have you ever seen, like, in a zoo, like, my sister has gotten a few before of, like, different animals paint. Like, there's, like, snakes that just, like, put, like, some paint on their belly or on the canvas and they have it go around. Yeah, there's, like, you can buy things. I've wanted to buy one from, like, penguins because they put some, like, on their feet and they have the little feet across the canvas. It's so cute.
Well, that sounds cute.
It's really cute.
You buy these at zoos?
Yeah, it's like a fundraiser kind of a thing at some zoos. Yeah, they're fun.
So smart. All right.
Yeah. Alright, so another important thing to remember about yokai of folklore is that they are not always completely bad. The line between demon and deity is a fuzzy one. So at the heart of this connection is the idea that any object might possess an animating spirit. Such an animistic worldview has traditionally informed Japanese religious conceptions in which all sorts of things, including trees, stones, mountains, and other natural features, can be inhabited by deities or kami-sama. I believe is how I say it. Again, I apologize for my pronunciations if it is very wrong. One set of yokai, broadly known as Sugunami, beautifully embodies this dynamic. They're household objects such as brooms, umbrellas, or musical instruments that have been neglected or unceremoniously discarded, and now have sprouted arms and legs and have come to life.
Like Fantasia.
Yes, but more like they'll mess with you or hurt you kind of a thing.
Like Fantasia.
That's true, yeah, they did do that, yeah. So, interest in Japanese yokai culture has dramatically increased in recent years. Painting and prints of shape-shifting animals, water spirits, and city ghouls are emerging at exhibitions all around Japan and across the world. The eerie and strange has long influenced Japanese art, and is a fascination that has grown over many centuries. And today, these Japanese mythical creatures can be appreciated everywhere, from museum halls to renowned Studio Ghibli films, like My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away, which I've seen. And they're very good. You should check out their films. They're very beautiful. Yes. Have you ever seen any of the Studio Ghibli films?
Oh yeah, I've seen Princess what is it? Namanyoke.
Okay.
Can't pronounce it. Sorry. And then Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, and what else did I see? I saw Ponyo.
I saw that one too. Yeah, that's a while ago.
That's a while ago.
Yep.
Scott, isn't that like Miley Cyrus's younger sister and like the Jonas Brothers' younger brother? For some reason, they were cast in the American.
I think so. And I think was it Bridget Mendler too? She was in. No, that was.
I don't know.
That was a different one. But yeah, they had like random Disney stars in all of these. It's interesting.
So weird. They've come a long way because now like the new one, what is it? The Boy and the Heron. They've got like Christian Bale's in it. The guy. What's his name? Robert Pattinson's in it too. Like this is a big step up, from the Miley Cyrus's younger sister and the Jonas Brothers' younger brother.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little slight step up.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some of the yokai, and we're gonna start with one that I think is kind of funny. It is a kasa obake, which is an animated umbrella.
Fantasia.
Yes. So it goes by quite a few different names, but the kasa obake is always an umbrella creature. It started to appear during Japan's Edo period. These silly-looking yokai are transformations of Chinese-style oiled paper umbrellas. They have a single large eye, a long protruding tongue, and either 1 or 2 legs on which they hop around wildly. So there's a legend that could explain the logic behind this yokai. It is believed that after 100 years, an everyday object can become an apparition. These are called tsugunami, tools that have acquired or a kami or spirit. So like things like Kendra said, like a bucket, or like a musical instrument, or like the umbrella. If they're not used, or like after 100 years, they can develop a spirit.
That's cool. They level up after 100 years. They level up and they become
evolving Pokemon. Heck yeah. So this can also be a lesson on why one should not discard old objects that may still have use or some sentimental value. So kasa obake are not particularly fearsome as far as yokai go. Their favorite method of surprising humans is to sneak up on them and deliver a large, oily lick with their enormous tongues, which may be disgusting, but it's not dangerous.
It's just it's creepy.
It's creepy. It like hops behind you and licks you.
I'd hear it. You'd have to hear it coming, right? It's got the one leg, right?
Yeah, 1 or 2, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It runs up behind you, licks. Bye.
It's just annoying. It's just
yeah. Yeah, it is. Caution is advised, however, because there are other umbrella tsugunami that are dangerous to humans, and care should be taken not to confuse them with this more playful spirit. So one of the more dangerous spirits is a rain umbrella that appears in valleys during a storm. Anyone who sees it would be paralyzed on the spot.
That sucks.
Yep.
Why paralyzed? Why not you get rained on for the rest of your life or something? Like you just like Eeyore and Winnie the Pooh, you just like a rain cloud just follows you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Paralyzed is discarded. Pretty serious.
Yep, discarded rain umbrella. Yep. So another is the Yorigasa, which is a one-legged, one-eyed umbrella yokai. This one blows people into the sky on windy days. It's like blows you away.
Okay, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, there you go.
Without the umbrella.
Well, he is the umbrella. He just.
I know, but the umbrella blows you into the air, and you go like, "Oh, I'm Mary Poppins, but I don't have an umbrella, so I'll just fall to my death."
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm dead.
Okay. Okay. So the next one I have is an Amabia.
Amabia?
Amabia, I believe is how you say it. Okay. I tried to do a phonetic spelling.
Amabia and the Bee? Starring Kiki Palmer and Lawrence Fishburne?
I thought you were going to go into like the Black Eyed Peas song.
No, Amabia. Oh, that would be a better one. That's a better one. Amabia.
Sounds like it though.
What a weird group.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
What a weird group. Like, they were so popular. Like, it was, their music was too old for me, but like, I just remember older kids would have the albums and like, shirts and stuff, and it'd be on the radio, and it was just,
it was a time.
It was a time for it.
It was a time, yeah.
Thank God I wasn't involved with it, but it was time for it.
Yep. So, the Amabia is a legendary Japanese mermaid or merman with a bird-like beak and mouth.
Nope.
And three legs or tail fins, who allegedly emerges from the sea, prophesizes either an abundant harvest or an epidemic.
This is like this is Puxatawny Phil, but from hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Instead of saying like winter or like spring is coming early or late, So either you get bountiful harvest or it's epidemic.
There's a lot riding on that. Like there's a lot riding on that.
Yeah. Phil's got a lot of stress on his.
Phil has no stress. Phil lives. What does he have? A wife, and they live in a library, right? They have a little library.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Phil has nothing to worry about. Phil just can, like, you know.
I work 1 day a year. It's fine. I'm a
bees.
It's got a lot.
Yeah. The risk has, the stakes have never been higher for I'm a bee.
Have you heard? I can't remember what state it was, but there's another state that does like the groundhog thing.
Dude, it's that Staten Island Chuck or something, like Staten Island Charles, and the old mayor, like de Blasio for New York, he had him, and then he dropped him, and then the Chuck monk or whatever they're called, not chipmunk,
groundhog.
No, it wasn't. It was like a woodchuck.
Oh, okay.
Woodchuck. It died 7 days later.
Yeah, because I saw it died, but like
it died 7 days later after the ex-mayor like dropped him.
Wow. Oh gosh.
Staten Island Chuck or something. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I don't know. Poor little guy.
Yeah, he's dead. Poor him.
I thought it was like the day of Groundhog's Day that he died.
I don't remember.
Or is this a different one?
Maybe a different one. I just remember that.
Was that this year?
De Blasio? No, I think it was a while ago. It has to have been a while ago because he hasn't been mayor for a bit.
Oh, okay.
What episode did we do our Groundhog's Day? I can't remember. I'm looking for it right now.
Okay.
I'm scrolling.
Here's the one that, so it was in Kentucky. A groundhog in Kentucky died exactly on Groundhog's Day, a few days after having predicted an early spring. He was 10 years old.
This year?
Yeah.
Look at a new one.
Yeah,
that's a hot job. It's a hot job.
hot commodity. Just go to grab another one off the forest floor. It'll be fine.
Okay, so episode 54 of the Foolish Wanderers podcast, we did a whole episode on Puxatawny Phil.
54?
Yep.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. I just scrolled for a while.
Nice. Alright, so getting back to the Amabia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's basically like either you're gonna have a great harvest, bountiful harvest, so much food you don't know what to do with it, or a lot of people are gonna die.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's not a great outcome. So apparently, they'll come up and like predict this thing, right? And instructed people to make copies of its likeness to defend against illness. This three-legged. Yeah, so apparently the whole thing about the Amabia is apparently if you share pictures of it or like little statues, apparently it's supposed to ward off illness.
This sounds like the Bible, like the Old Testament with the lamb's blood over the doorway and then the angel of death won't come in. It's like you have to have this weird photo of this Maybelline looking, L'Oreal Paris like bird lady and like stick it above your door and then you won't get the sickness.
Yep. Well, actually, I think it was for COVID-19, but like back in 2020.
Did they do this?
People in Japan like shared, it was like a trend. People
didn't work.
I don't know, maybe amongst their like friend groups it did, but like people would share pictures of the Amabia and then it was like a trend for a while. So
okay, but do you see what I'm saying? Like this Amabia, she's got luscious locks. She looks like a Maybelline or like L'Oreal Paris commercial. Yes, like the shampoo commercial where they have like their luscious locks and they
fling them around.
Yeah, they fling it around.
Yep.
Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's Amabia.
That's a good shampoo name.
Yep.
You should make it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So according to legend, an Amabia appeared in the Higo province around mid-May 1846 in the Edo period. A glowing object had been spotted in the sea, almost on a nightly basis. The town's official went to the coast to investigate and witnessed the Amabia. According to the sketch made by this official, it had long hair, a mouth like a bird's bill, was covered in scales from neck down, and had 3 legs. Addressing the official, it identified itself as an Amabia and told him that it lived in the open sea. It went on to deliver a prophecy. Good harvest will continue for 6 years from the current year. If disease spreads, draw a picture of me and show the picture of me to those who fall ill. And then it just returned to the sea.
Amabia just pops up. It's like, hey, like, I live like just right in, I'm from the sea. I'm Amabia.
Yeah. Yep. Just pops up. Hey, how's it going? You can have a good harvest.
Draw a photo of me.
Yeah, spread my name. Yeah,
narcissist.
Yeah. So it's also said that should disease occur, one can keep said disease and calamity at bay by simply sharing an image with others.
Narcissist!
Yeah.
Her luscious locks have really gotten to her head.
You gotta get those luscious locks, you know. You gotta keep them shiny from living in the ocean.
Maybe it's I'm a bee.
I'm a bee. Just sing that song.
I'm a bee.
Oh gosh, we're gonna get flagged for
No, we're not. No one from Maybelline is gonna be listening to this.
There's that one person.
Is that one person?
Oh gosh. Okay, the next one I have is the Kieran. The Kieran
Karen?
Karen is a Karen.
It's the Karen?
But it's the nicest Karen you could ever meet.
Okay.
So this
it's spelled Kirin. Okay.
Yes. So it'll get Kieran.
Kieran.
Kieran. The Kieran is one of the rarest, most awesome and powerful creatures ever known in East Asia.
Whoa.
It is a regal animal, holy and highly revered. The Kieran is often considered a god in its own right, resembling a deer with scales like a dragon's covering its body.
That sounds cool.
It does. It really does.
That sounds so cool. A deer with just like dragon scales all over it?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Mystical. It has a tail like an ox and a flowing mane. Its body and mane are covered in brilliant holy fire, and its face is a picture of utter serenity.
What does that mean?
It's like calmness, peace.
Huh.
You just feel at peace when you look at his face.
Interesting. Even though it has fire, like... Alright.
It's peace. Peaceful fire.
Peaceful fire, okay.
So a gentle animal, the Kieran never eats the flesh of other beings, and takes great care never to tread on any living thing, even insects.
Even mosquitoes?
Yes, apparently. If that's an insect, yes. Any living being. I don't like mosquitoes or wasps.
Who likes mosquitoes? I've never met a person.
There's some people who study mosquitoes, and, you know, if that's your thing, good for you. I'm not a fan of mosquitoes.
Or your work, yeah.
There was a few TikToks I've seen where like people that study these mosquitoes, they have nets, like they have huge like cases full of just live mosquitoes to study or whatever.
Why?
Exactly. But they have like mesh screens where like they'll put their hand like up to it, like they won't touch the screen, but like they'll hold it up to it, and all these mosquitoes rush to that screen and stick their noses through it.
I've seen that. I've seen this. Yep.
Weird.
I've seen this. It's horrifying. It is nightmare fuel.
It is, and I hate it.
Yep. It just makes me think of that clip from Lilo and Stitch where the aliens come down, right? Yeah. And I don't remember what his name is, but it's the green one with the one eye. And he's like I can't remember what it is.
It's like Kiki or something.
I don't remember. But it's like he's so psyched about the mosquito. He's like, oh my gosh, it's a mosquito. Oh, amazing. Oh, I'm so excited to study it. And then all of a sudden he just gets swarmed and eaten alive, basically, by the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peakly.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah. Or Pleakly.
Peakly.
Yeah, something like that.
Something alien.
Yeah. Yeah, that just unlocked a memory from my childhood, so thank you.
You're welcome. A nostalgia boost. Okay, back to the Kieran.
Okay, so when the Kieran walks, it does so without trampling a single blade of grass. So I think it floats.
It floats like Jesus. Okay.
Yes. Its beauty is only surpassed by its rarity. The unicorn-like Kieran only appears during periods of world peace. They are
so it's never come around.
Like maybe at the very beginning
for 4 seconds, and then just boom, he's
it's gone.
Out of here.
I mean, I don't blame it. Like,
I don't blame him either.
Oh yeah, yep. They are seen only in lands owned by wise and benevolent people, and during reigns of noble and enlightened rulers, where they herald a golden age. Although Kieran never harm good and pure souls, they are swift and fierce to attack if threatened, breathing holy fire from their mouths.
That's cool.
So they breathe fire.
Holy fire.
Holy fire. Yeah.
Just like Jesus.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He just breathes holy fire. Just
I just imagine he just goes like, ah, and then like
it's just like the Nyan cat or whatever.
Yeah.
So giraffes are also called Kieran in Japanese, named for the traits they share with the holy Kieran. Their long legs, scale-like pattern, gentle nature, and the knobs on their heads must have reminded the first Japanese to see a giraffe of its most sacred of beasts. So apparently, like, they're like, giraffes are beautiful creatures. They have a scale-ish pattern. It's a Kieran.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, if you've never seen one before.
You've never seen one before.
Like,
they're crazy looking things.
They are. They're really weird. And they have purple tongues.
Long.
Very long.
Long purple tongue.
Yeah, they're kind of gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to get into another creepy one. So the next one I have is the Wanyudo. So the Wanyudo is depicted as a giant, insane person's disembodied head trapped within the spokes of a flaming ox cart wheel.
I like that it has to be specifically an ox cart wheel.
Yes, an insane person's head.
An insane person's head.
Yes. Yep. So some stories claim that it's a spirit of an evil warlord being punished for his wickedness, or that it is the ghost of a monk who was undergoing penance for his past sins.
Oh, I hope it's the first one.
You don't want any monks to be flying
No, I don't
around.
want monks to get, like, you know, their head is trapped in the spokes of an ox cart.
I mean, what if they're, like, evil?
Oh, if they're evil, then yeah.
Okay, yeah,
That's
there you go. It's for their sins. They gotta repent. By rolling around in an ox cart wheel.
That's a horrible punishment.
Yeah, it is.
This is a very creative punishment.
Yeah. And it gets even more creative. The Wanyudo is in constant pain from his predicament and patrols the roads late at night looking for souls to join him in damnation. So it is said that one look from the Wanyudo is all it takes to kill a person and condemn their soul to hell.
That's not fair at all.
No, not at all.
What?
Yeah, no.
What? What if you were on your way to, like,
church?
To church, or, well, you could be still evil and go to church. But, like,
yeah,
you know, like, you're on your way to, you know, to, like, the orphanage or something to, like, read or, like, give money to the orphanage, you know, like charity. What if you're going to, like, a charity thing, you know? What if you were on your way to, like, donate a kidney?
Straight
and
to
then
hell.
all of a sudden you just, like, see, like, a glimpse of it and you're like, yep, straight to hell. You're part of the... You've donated your head instead of the kidney. You're now your head, your disembodied head is on the spoke. That doesn't seem fair.
No, it's not
fair at all.
But, yeah, I don't know what to say to that. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
You know. Okay. So in some versions, the Wanyudo collects only evil souls in return for his eventual freedom, but others tell of a more indiscriminate being who takes anyone he can find with no regard for whether they are a virtuous soul or not. So, like, if it was a bad soul that he took, like, yeah, I mean, yeah. But, like, if it's just, like, anybody, like you said, like, that's...
Not fair.
Not good. Not fair. No. Life isn't fair. Anyway. To keep themselves safe, superstitious families will keep prayer charms around their houses to ward off the demon. If one is seen, they know to keep away from the windows, since even if one survives the gaze of a Wanyudo, ruin is brought to the entire family. So it's like a curse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So one of the most famous legends comes from Kyoto, Japan. As a Wanyudo rolled through the town, a woman peeked out her window at him. The Wanyudo told her, instead of looking at me, have a look at your own child. She looked down at her baby to find him lying on the floor in the pool of blood with his legs missing. When she looked back outside at the demon, she saw her baby's legs in his mouth as he ate them.
He didn't want the legs.
The baby did with the legs, or he did with the legs?
No, like, he didn't want to use the legs instead of, like, rolling in an ox
cart.
cart.
No, he just ate them.
He just ate. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's an evil spirit. Like, he's not
making plans. He's not making plans to...
No. He's just taking names.
Baby legs. He's one of those tender and mild baby legs.
Yep. With some blue cheese. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we get into Zaski Warashi, I think is how you say it. So these are like little kid spirits, basically. So if you...
Like, there are little creepy child spirits, or they're for little kids?
Both. We'll get into it. So, ever feel like you're always misplacing your phone, glasses, or keys? You're not going crazy. It might just be the work of a very cheeky Zaski Warashi. So, I'm just going to call them ZWs because it's going to be a mouthful.
I like it, ZWs.
ZWs? Okay, cool.
Yep.
We're going to go with that.
It explains a lot, these little ZWs.
Yes.
Why I can't find the darn TV remotes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or like your extra pair of socks. Or like, I can't find my headphones half the time.
Yep. Car keys.
Yep. And these, like, the more we get into it, the more these, like, remind me of some of, like, those little tricky, like, house trolls or elves that we talked about in previous episodes. And we'll get into it. Like, there's a lot of similarities. So, ZWs are house spirits. They are fond of mischief, loved by all, and believed to bring great fortune and riches to those whose houses they haunt. Direct sightings of these spirits are rare. It is often difficult to make out any details of other than a vague, childlike shape. When they can be seen, ZWs appear as ghostly children, 5 or 6 years old and with blushing red faces. The boys are dressed in child-sized warrior costumes, and the girls are in patterned kimonos with their hair that is either short and bobbed or long and tied back. So in verse stories, they would appear as wild, hairy, brutish figures. It is said that only children and the house's owners are able to see these spirits. They are usually known by their pranks. Sasuke Warashi love mischief. Often the first signs that one house may be inhabited is by a trail of children's footprints going through the ashes or soap powder.
Going through the ashes or soap powder, what?
So like ashes from like a fireplace. Do you think back like 18th century, like before? Like you're just gonna have like a fireplace.
I didn't know if they had a bag of these things that they were bringing to then run their the little footprints through, or
just bring their own.
Yeah, for dramatic effect, they just bring their own.
You're like, where did this soap come from?
Yeah, where did these soap flakes come from?
I don't use soap. What are you talking about?
I don't use soap powder. Yeah.
Gross. So other mischief includes making phantom noises, tops spinning all night long, paper crinkling, or children's voices, which is the creepiest one in my opinion. Most hauntings.
The creepiest one for me is the paper crinkling.
Is it really?
No, it sounds so weird. Like crinkling with paper?
Yeah, just you wake up in the middle of the night. Who's crinkling?
Who's eating
paper?
a bag of chips?
Oh, I want some. Can you share with me? So most hauntings involve a single ZW. However, it's possible to have multiple spirits. So usually it's one, but you can have 2 as well. Sasuke Warashi are considered guardian spirits of the house and gods of luck. It is said that a house with a ZW will prosper and grow rich, and a house that drives away such a spirit will fall into decline and ruin. One account, a family witnessed a ZW leaving their home, and soon they all succumbed to food poisoning and died. So like as soon as like the spirit was like, hey, peace, I'm out, you're not treating me right, he left, and then
you died of food poisoning.
Yes, basically. In another well-known legend, a wealthy man's son shot a ZW with a bow and arrow. Soon after, the family's fortunes collapsed. Yep. So in many homes, these spirits befriend the children of the house, teaching them songs, games, and nursery rhymes. They keep elderly or infertile couples company, and these couples often treat the ZWs as if they were their own child. The desire to attract and keep these friendly yokai has fed into customs like setting out food for them and even laying coins on the foundation when they're building a new house. The Japanese take great care to maintain their formal reception room so as to not drive out the guardian spirits dwelling there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Little friends.
Little friends. Little trickster friends. Okay, so the next one we're going to get into is the kitsune, which is a fox, basically, like a shape-shifting fox. A magical fox. So foxes, or kitsune, are found all across Japan. They are identical to wild foxes found elsewhere in the world apart from their incredible magic powers. There are 2 major versions of kitsune. Holy foxes are servants of the Shinto deity Inari. Inari shrines are decorated with statues and images of these foxes. Legends tell of celestial foxes providing wisdom or service to good and pious humans. These holy foxes act as messengers of the gods and mediums between the celestial and human worlds. They often protect humans or places, provide good luck, and ward off evil spirits. More common are the wild foxes, which delight in mischief, pranks, and evil. There are stories in which wild foxes trick or even possess humans and cause them to behave strangely. Despite this wicked nature, even wild foxes keep their promises, remember friendships, and repay any favors done for them. So just get them on your good side and you'll be fine. So most tales of the kitsune are about wild foxes, punishing wicked priests, greedy merchants, and boastful drunkards. They vex their targets by creating phantom sounds and sights, stealing from them, or otherwise humiliating them publicly. Certain mental disorders have been attributed to possession by kitsune. Mysterious illusory fires and strange lights in the sky are also said to be caused by their magic, known as foxfire. So kitsune are extremely intelligent and powerful shapeshifters. They frequently harass humans by transforming into giants or other fearsome monsters. Sometimes they do this just for pranks, and sometimes for more nefarious purposes. They are skilled enough to even transform into exact likenesses of individual people, often appearing in the guise of a beautiful human woman in order to trick young men. On more than one occasion, this has resulted in a marriage from an unwitting human. So like little pretend to be a human woman and they'll trick somebody to marrying them.
And then boom, they're like,
surprise!
I'm a fox.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Some kitsune even spend most of their lives in human form, adopting human names and customs, taking human jobs, and even raising families.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like it's, you know, like your 50th wedding anniversary or something. You're surrounded by your grandkids and your children and your loved ones, and all of a sudden you're just like, psych, I'm a fox.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You thought I was human.
You thought I was human. Haha.
Hey. So, funny thing though, when this happens, like when they get stressed, or startled or drunk, sometimes their magic can fail, and like little features of like their foxness, like their tail or like their mouth or like your ears will pop out.
It's cute, but like it's terrifying. Like all of a sudden, you know.
Yes. So next one I got is a Yamanba, otherwise known as a witch, a mountain witch.
A mountain witch, specifically.
Mountain witch. Yes, specifically, yes. So these witches live in the mountains and forests of Japan and take the shape of old, filthy women.
Goals.
The Mayamba will lure unsuspecting travelers, especially men, from the paths by offering them shelter and food for the night, and will attack and devour them later in their sleep. So today, disobedient children are often told that the Mayamba will kidnap them if they do not behave, and it'll eat you.
That's just creepy.
It is creepy. But here's the history of it. So
like Baba Yaga.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Yep. So sometimes the Mayumba are created when a young woman is accused of crimes or wicked deeds, and they would flee into the wilderness to live in exile. The women that would then transform gradually over many years into mountain witches, and in some cases, their origin can be explained by an old custom, and this is true and very, very sad, from times of famine or economic hardship, when it became impossible to feed everybody, families had to make a hard choice. They would remove one member so that the rest can survive. Often the sacrifice chosen was the newly born or the elderly. Sometimes families led their mothers deep into the woods and left them there to die. So like they take like their grandmothers like out into the woods and be like, we can't feed you anymore, bye. Like that was a real thing that happened. Yeah, yep. So these abandoned old women, either out of rage or desperation, transformed into the horrible monsters that fed on humans and practiced black magic.
You know what? I might too.
I mean, yeah.
If my family did that to me, I'd be like, yep, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, I'd be like, well, as long as I'm out here.
Like, as long as I'm out here, it's time to start practicing black magic.
What else are you gonna do?
Yep.
I mean,
what else am I gonna do? Yeah.
I got a lot of time on my hands.
That was the last straw.
Yep.
Time to become a filthy old woman.
Just eat you.
Yep. I would devour my family.
Oh, that's disgusting. Isn't that so messed up? I know like a lot of cultures did this, but it's so messed up to think about.
Like, I don't know if this is true or not, but like I think my grandparents told me this. But they said like the Eskimos, when the people were too old, like the elderly were too old, and like stuff like this would happen, they'd like attach them to like ice floats, and they'd be like, bye. I don't know if it's true or not.
I feel like that's almost worse, just because like there's absolutely no way you could actually eat. Because like in the forest, at least there's like some sort of like possibility to eat.
I mean, yes, but also the forest, you don't really know what's poisonous and what is not poisonous, so you could slowly die very, very, very painfully. But true. Also on the ice float, you would die. You would slowly die very, very painfully. So both of them are horrible. That's
actually really.
At least like the Yamuba. At least the mountain witch, like you're cast into the forest. You're just like, yep, it's time to, I'll become evil. The ice float option, you just kind of die. You can't. There's nowhere to practice black magic on an ice float.
Well, I mean, you can practice on the ice float, but you're not going to get your tools.
You're not going to get the tools you need.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're just going to die. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, moving on. So.
We found a positive if you get...
It's better than being on an ice float.
Yeah, it's better than being on an ice float, if that's true.
Yeah. Should I look it up or no?
Yeah, just Google
it. Okay, so the Inuit people would do this, but like extreme like famines.
Yeah, like I said, like it was desperate. Like you didn't want to do it to grandma, but you had to. So you would put her on the ice float and you'd be like, bye.
The last time this is reported that it happened was actually a lot more recent than I'd like to say.
Please tell me it's not like 1994 or something. Like,
it was 1939.
That's better.
Better, but still is like...
That's still... There were trains and airplanes.
Depends, I guess, where they're located, but like.
And there were radios.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so next one we got is the Kichisake Onna, or the slit-mouthed woman. So the Kichisake Onna was first appeared in the 16th and 17th centuries. It had a resurgence in popularity in the 1970s, due to like popular culture and stuff. So this yokai is a malevolent spirit who takes the form of a beautiful woman, wearing a mask and carrying scissors. If you happen to encounter her in a dark alleyway, she will ask you whether she is beautiful, and if you reply with a no, she will stab you. And if you reply with a yes, she will pull down her mask to reveal that her mouth has been slit from ear to ear.
It's gross.
Yep, the Glasgow smile. Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
I think that's what it's called. She will then repeat her question, and if you reply no, she will stab you. Oh, but if you reply yes, she will slit your mouth with the scissors so that you can be beautiful like her. So there's no escaping this yokai, and the encounter with her will either lead to death or disfigurement. She was disfigured apparently supposedly during her human life when her husband, a samurai, found out about her adultery and punished her accordingly by slitting her mouth. So either you die or you get a Glasgow smile.
I'd say no. Like, no.
Then you die.
That's fine.
Stab you. Okay, the next one I got is the kappa. The kappa are aquatic creatures that populate Japan's lakes, rivers, wells, and ponds. They're usually the size of a small child, but with green reptilian skin and a beak instead of a mouth. They have webbed hands and feet, which allows them to efficiently tread water, as well as a shell on their back. Kind of like, isn't there like a kappa in like Mario or something too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that.
Koopa.
Koopa, yeah. Okay.
Koopa Troopa.
We had a whole little ditty about that.
Yep. I know now. No, I still don't want to believe it.
Mm-hmm. Bowser is a turtle.
Yeah, I thought he was a dragon.
I mean, I can see why. Yeah.
He breathes fire.
Yeah, he does. Yep. So on top of the kappa's shell is a deep crevice or dish filled with water, in which this is the source of all their power. If the dish is emptied or dries up, the kappa lose its powers. So these yokai can be good or evil. They are some of the most intelligent yokai, able to learn the human language, as well as possessing invaluable medicinal knowledge, which some say they taught early humans. They like playing games and will be fiercely loyal if you manage to befriend them. However, they are also known to tear apart humans who swim in their waters.
Whoa.
So better be their friend before you
better
swim.
Be their friend, yep.
Yeah. They are inescapable in water, but on land they can be outwitted in the following way. Due to their well-mannered nature, they have to return a bow if you bow to them. So like when they bow, like all the water will fall out of their little dish and they'll lose their power.
They'll lose their power. Oh, super easy to take out on land.
Oh yeah, on land. Oh yeah. Yep. So you bow at them and they bow back and they lose their power. So this will either cause them to lose their powers or they will befriend you. They have two favorite foods, cucumbers and human entrails.
Whoa.
So cucumbers can often be found in your bodies of water as offerings, as kappa are revered in Shinto as water gods. So you see random cucumbers, don't touch them. They're offerings.
See random human entrails, don't touch them. They're offerings.
Yep, just next to a cucumber. Don't ask questions, just keep going. Alright, so next one we got is the yuri. So there are many different types of yuri. In most cases, how they appear depends on the circumstances of their death. They retain the features and clothing that they wore when they died or were buried, which means that they are dressed in white burial kimonos or the uniforms of fallen warriors. Occasionally, they have bloody wounds indicative of the way that they died. Their hair is usually long and disheveled, often obstructing their face and adding to their disturbing appearance. Their hands hang limply from their wrists. Yuri are translucent and are only faintly visible. In most cases, they are so faint they appear to have no feet. So like this case like reminds me, I don't know if you've ever heard of like the ghosts like here like in the US, and I think Canada too. They talk about the woman in white scene a lot of times, or like if you're like driving and you all of a sudden like see like a lady in white at like the side of the road screaming for help. There's a lot of cases of that, like where like a woman would be killed or like they died in a car wreck and they're asking for help. And like people will be like, oh yeah, come here, like hop in the car, we'll get you to wherever you need to go, and they just disappear. It's very common, and it's like people that die in tragic ways, or like if a woman was like waiting for her lover to come back from war or whatever, died of a broken heart or something like that. That's another thing, like died in a wedding dress or something like that. It's kind of, that's what this makes me think of. It's just Japan's version of the woman in white.
Okay.
Yeah. So the yuri do not roam about, but haunt one particular place or person. In the case of a place, it is often more or less where they died or where they were buried. In the case of a person, it is often the killer or sometimes their loved ones that they haunt. They remain stuck in this world until they can be put to rest. This might require bringing their killers to justice or finding their lost body or something as simple as passing a message on to a loved one. Which I think is pretty much what the like woman in white thing is too. Like if someone died and like their killer's still like scot-free or whatever, until they're caught, they haunt the same like bridge or like whatever.
It's creepy.
It is very creepy. Some Yuri are reluctant to accept their own deaths and haunt their living family, bringing misfortune and unhappiness to the rest of their family members' lives. It's like unintentionally. According to traditional Japanese beliefs, when a person dies, his soul or her soul lives on in its separate entity, passing on to a heavenly afterlife. This transition is accomplished through a number of funeral and post-funeral rites and prayers performed by their loved ones over many years. Through these rites, the soul is reunited with its ancestors and becomes a family guardian spirit. Those who do not receive the proper funeral rites cannot pass on. They remain stuck in a purgatory that is part of the physical world and are part ethereal. Others who die suddenly, tragically, or violently, or with a grudge and malice in their hearts, are sometimes unable to pass on even with proper prayers and rites. And these are the souls that transform into the Yuri.
Is the Yuri like The Grudge? You know The Grudge, the horror movie from like the 2000s or 90s? I don't remember which one it is. But
I've heard of it.
Is it a Yuri?
I
think it might be a Yuri.
It could be. I mean, if it's like, if they got killed...
Yeah, I gotta look it up. I thought it was like a Korean or something horror movie. I have no idea. It could be just...
Could be. I don't know if it'll give you that answer.
I'm gonna find it. Okay, so the original The Grudge is a 2002 Japanese supernatural horror film.
Okay.
And I think that it might be a Yuri.
That would make sense, especially if it's Japanese.
Yep.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's a vengeful ghost.
So yeah.
So it's a Yuri. All right, cool.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Cool.
That's all I have. I was just like, oh, it kind of reminds me of The Grudge. I wonder if it is. It is.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so the next one is a juboko. At first glance, these seem to be ordinary trees. However, as one gets closer, you could begin to see heaps of human bones at the base of the tree. By then, it would be far too late to backtrack. The tree would lift you up into its branches, piercing your skin and sucking out all of your blood with tube-like twigs.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yeah. Yay. So then, after all of your blood is gone, insects and birds will consume the rest of your corpse until only dry bones fall to the earth below.
I mean, at least they're using, like, the whole buffalo. Like, they're using all of you, right?
So that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so, like, you're getting completely recycled, which is nice.
Yep.
So, yep.
So, juboko were originally ordinary trees. But if a massacre or a battle happened nearby, all the blood would soak into the earth and would be absorbed by the tree, thus transforming the tree into a juboko.
That's kind of cool. Like,
yeah.
All the, like, horror, like, stuff that happened, like, battles that happen nearby, you know, the evil and whatnot gets absorbed into the something. It's absorbed somewhere. Where does it get absorbed? Into the tree.
Into a tree.
And the tree will eat you and...
cause it all over again.
Yes. Yep.
It's like a vampire tree. Sucks that blood.
Especially with, like, the twig straw things that you were talking about. That's icky. Okay.
That's gross. The last one that I got is actually like one of the first ones that I've ever heard of for yokai. It is rather creepy as well. Is the Gasha Dokoro. So the Gasha Dokoro is a hungry skeleton. A giant hungry skeleton. So 1,000 years ago, after a terrible battle, the bodies of hundreds of soldiers are abandoned on the battlefield. It is at this moment that the Gasha Dokoro is formed. So the bones of the fallen people assemble to form a gigantic skeleton which afterwards sneaks discreetly towards its victim. If you hear a buzz in your ears, the Gasha Dokoro is not far away. So it is 10 or more meters tall. Only the eyes protrude, and some sources describe them as burning yellow or green. The Gasha Dokoro wanders around at 2 a.m. and attacks and eats humans when it sees them. When a Gasha Dokoro approaches, it is said to make a clattering sound with its teeth. Gachi gachi. However, they are also known to be stealthy when approaching humans they wish to eat. The following characteristics are not confirmed by Japanese data, so this is kind of like more like pop culture stuff. The Gasha Dokoro is said to possess the powers of invisibility and indestructibility, since it is composed of the bones of people who are already deceased, though Shinto charms are said to ward them off. Otherwise, a Gasha Dokoro will continue hunting its prey until its pent-up anger is released, causing the bones to crumple and the Gasha Dokoro to collapse. It's like once it like gets like eats enough people or like fulfills its purpose, then all of a sudden just like breaks apart and it's dead forever.
Yeah, this thing is always cool because like I think a lot of probably listeners have probably they don't know what this is, but they would recognize the artwork, the illustration in the lower right hand corner with the giant skeleton.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember this from one of my Japanese art history classes. This specific illustration.
Nice. Did you remember the story then? Or
Nice. I just don't remember like all of, like I guess the details, but I remember like it has like fiery eyes and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, again, like if you guys want to look up yokai, there's literally thousands. Just be careful of what you're
There are a bunch.
There's so many. But yeah, some resources that I used for this podcast were japanobjects.com, Wikipedia, of course, yokai.com, which is like they have
it has the whole yokai cinematic universe. Basically, yes.
Yep. bpwriter22 at wordpress.com, peakexperiencejapan.com, and supernaturalcreaturesthecollector.com.
It was a good episode. I liked it.
Liked it?
Thank you for you did a lot of research.
I tried. It's kind of we recorded for over an hour, so we'll see how much of it made sense. But yeah, did you have a favorite out of the list?
I gotta think. I like the foxes. No, I like the Amabina.
Oh, the mountain witch.
No, the duck mermaid lady with the hair.
Ah, that is correct. Yeah, the Pantene.
Yeah.
Cover girl lady. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked her.
The one that wards off disease.
Yeah, if you share a photo, like a photo of her randomly.
Yeah. Oh man, I think like the ones that I liked are like the umbrellas, and then
that was funny. Those ones are fun.
Yeah, those ones are fun. Yeah, there's a lot of fun ones. There's a lot of really creepy,
gross
of scary
ones.
Peace. All right, Wanderers, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Foolish Wanderers podcast. If you have any suggestions for any future episodes, please feel free to email us at fwplisteners@gmail.com.
And as always, new episodes of the FWP are released to wherever you get your podcast from, including this place that you are listening to right now.
Peace. All right, Wanderers, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.